Today we're going to discuss refinishing existing oak cabinets with General Finishes Gel Stain, dubbed the One Coat Wonder by Amy from High Style Restyle in Dallas because of its exceptional coverage. Gel stains provide great coverage over existing finishes because they are full-bodied and pigment-rich. A word of warning before we begin. If spray polishes or oil soaps or wax have been used on your project, the finish may not adhere well, requiring stripping and sanding to remove the existing finish. If you aren't sure, follow the best practices by prepping and testing before proceeding.
Before getting started, have the following supplies ready. To clean the surface, you will either need furniture cleaner, mineral spirits, or a 50-50 mix of denatured alcohol and water. It's okay to use solvent-based cleaners with oil finishes, but never use them with water-based finishes. Use the denatured alcohol and water mix instead. You will also need a Scotch Brite pad, sanding pad, gloves, polyfoam brushes, your choice of bristle brushes, pad applicator, roller, blue shop towels, dust cloth, and painter's tape. Start by covering any glass with painter's tape and remove all hardware. Otherwise, the stains will adhere to these surfaces. Always prep an existing finish regardless of what the manufacturer says. Scrub the wood surface with a Scotch Brite pad and your choice of cleaner. Really work the heavily used areas around handles and knobs. This is where most grime and oil from hands accumulate. Once dry, lightly buff the surface with a 220 sanding pad. This is not a heavy-duty sanding, just a light buffing. Wipe off the dust with a tack cloth or a water-dampened rag and then let it dry again. Okay, Tom, let's get our workspace ready.
Now we're going to show our favorite method of applying gel stain over existing finishes, painted on and dry brushed out. In this demo, I'm going to be using the Brown Mahogany Gel Stain. It's slightly redder and lighter than the Java Gel. Even though the gel stain is thick, you can see it on the stick there, be sure to stir it well to reincorporate the pigments. You don't have to re-stir it while you're working on your project.
Always test your finish schedule on the back of a door before starting. This makes a great practice session and gives you a chance to check the color of the stain.
We don't recommend applying gel stain with rags because they create an uneven finish. Stick to any type of brush. And once we got a door here, we can actually show you the demo. I'm going to take the gel stain on my foam brush. I'm going to start in the center sections and work my way around the rest of the door, the stiles, and the frame so I can just get my stain applied. Now I'm going to come back and reapply a little gel, enough to keep it wet so I can work with it. Get it into those corners. Go up with the grain, making sure everything is covered, and use plenty of stain. We'll make more. Now I'm going to come and use, instead of a cloth to wipe it off, I'm going to actually take a bristle brush and dry brush this off. And what I've got here, I have my cloth with a little bit of mineral spirits on it, and I like to dab my brush right into the mineral spirits to kind of pre-dampen it, and this becomes my rag. This is how I remove the excess stain. Going with the grain, and you can see that I'm discharging the excess stain onto the cloth. When you're happy with the color, you want to allow it to dry for 24 to 48 hours before you go to your next step. Now I can take a second brush and feather it out. That'll take off the excess stain, any smudges. See how quickly that covers that golden oak color to a nice brown mahogany.
Additional coats of stain will darken the color. Here is a door finished with 1 coat of brown mahogany painted on using our dry brush technique and sealed with 3 coats of high performance flat. This is the same door but with 2 coats on. You can see it gets a little bit darker. You can even enhance it even more by using some of our pitch black glaze effects.
Sanding between coats of stain is not required. Allow each coat to dry 24 to 48 hours depending upon temperature and humidity. Ideal conditions are 70 degrees and 50% humidity. The heavier the application, the longer it takes to dry. You can tell if an oil finish is dry if it's no longer tacky and you can't smell it. Sheryl, let's clean up a bit and show some finished samples.
Okay.
We are back with some examples of refreshed cabinet doors to show you. For a color comparison, here are doors toned with nutmeg gel. The first is an existing builder grade finish. The second one has one coat of nutmeg applied with our dry brush technique. The third has 2 coats. Both have 3 coats of high performance flat top coat. And remember, when using a water-based top coat over oil-based stains, let the stain dry at least 72 hours.
All of these doors were completed using 2 coats of our stain using our dry brush technique. This one is antique walnut topped with high performance flat. And here's our triple crown winner, Java Gel, finished with high performance satin. And this one here is actually our dark chocolate milk paint, which matches the Java Gel when painted on. And finally, our last door is gel stained black with a high performance flat top coat. Gel stains have an extremely high solids content. Because of this, they look and feel like they don't need a top coat when dry, but they do. This stain is loaded with pigment, so be sure to lock in and protect the color with any of the following top coats: oil-based gel satin or armor seal, water-based high performance, or flat out flat.
So you have a couple of options if you want to update your cabinet with a darker finish.